आप म्यूट हैं राकेश जी।
Namaskar. I'm Kumar Rakesh and welcome to Global Governance News TV. Today we'll discuss right to privacy. Right to privacy, and we have just Vandana Jhingan from Chicago, senior journalist. We have Balandush Sarva Dharma, IT expert, and awarded with so many national and international awardee on the IT, and he's senior journalist also. And we have Rakesh Tiwari ji, he's the editor-in-chief of the Hindi Times Group from the Canada, and later on, two more will join. So we'll just discuss the right to privacy. If you see the facts about the right to privacy, so the right to privacy was the element of the various legal traditions to restrain the governmental and the private actions that threaten the privacy of individuals. Over 150 national constitutions mention the right to privacy. And globally, on 10 December 1948, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, originally written to guarantee individual rights of everyone everywhere. The words right to privacy is not written in the document. However, many interpret this by reading Article 12. In India, I was just talking the 21. So no one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor to attacks upon his honor and reputation. Everyone has right to protection of the law against such interference or attacks. Since the global surveillance disclosure up to uh, 2013, initiated by ex-NSA employee Edward Student, the right to privacy has been subject of international debate. Government agencies such as NSA, CIA, RNRW, and GCHQ have engaged in mass global surveillance. There's so many things just we have been just saying, viewing, and observing. So some current debates around the right to privacy include the whether privacy can coexist with the current capabilities of intelligence agencies to access, analyze many details of individual life, whether or not the right to privacy is forfeited as part of the social contract to bolster the defense against supposed terrorist threats, and whether threats of the terrorism are a valid excuse to spy on the general population. Private sectors actors also can be threatened with the right to privacy, particularly technology companies with the so many companies we can't take the name, but they collect the personal data, and just you see you receive any phone from the any company and no number, how they got the number, who has the sell your data. This is also crime. This is not a crime for the India, crime for global crime. But everybody just, I think, this used to be. And if you see the uh, Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal focused on the psychographic company Cambridge Analytica used to personal data from Facebook to influence a large group of people. So history is very old, just 12th century. I'm not going to history. The in United States, the article December 15, 1890 issue of the Harvard Law Review, written by the attorney Samuel D. Warren, and the future U.S. Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis, entitled "The Right to Privacy," is often cited as the first explicit finding of U.S. right to privacy, and it is individual right also. And Alan Weinstein believes that new technology, after the balance between privacy and disclosure, the privacy rights may limit governmental surveillance to protect democratic processes. And collective value and human rights also includes in European Union. If you talk the European Union compared to the United States, the European Union has a more extensive data protection law. Nowadays, talk about the country and talk of the world, how to protect the data and personal. I think we'll take the all inputs from all our panelists: Australia, China, India, Israel, Russia, US, and media, and the publication of private facts, newsworthiness, how just Julius Assange, and so many things. And recently, we have seen in India just already we have taken the Pegasus. Now the new controversy has been created, and this is I think this. I'm not going to on the detail on that controversy. That is all the planned or paid and whatever. That is definitely issue. So we are talking the right to privacy. We have panelist, Vandana Jhingan, senior journalist from the Chicago. Welcome, Vandana ji. We have Balindu Sharma Dadish, the IT expert and senior journalist. We have now Sudesh Verma just joined. I think he's out of Delhi. No background, the national spokesperson of BJP. And we have Rakesh Tiwari ji. He's a senior journalist and editor-in-chief of the Hindi Times Media Group from Canada, Toronto. So start today. Balindu. He's an IT expert also. He knows that this is data, privacy, and he has awarded so many awards, national and international. So what we'll just know from the Balinduji how just the data protection is going on, or how this new controversy is also going on. And after that, Sudesh, I'll take Balindu.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. Protection of data has always been important to human beings. This is not a new phenomenon. This concern has always been there, and you have shared some information, some facts about that. I would say that nowadays, every human being has two different aspects of his life. One is his physical life, and the second aspect is virtual life. And we live between both of these kind of different aspects. Sometimes we are living our physical life, sometimes virtual life. And it is also a fact that distance between these two aspects of our life, that has also blurred now. So distances have become irrelevant and barriers have been broken. As far as the barriers of distance is there, time is there, and any kind of other barriers. That's why we say that we are living in a global village. Now, living in this global village had its own advantages and disadvantages both. And I would say that the challenges that we have been facing in the physical life, offline life, they are also present in the virtual life. They are also present in the digital life that we are living. There has always been concerns about data protection in the physical life. Like in our daily life also, we have been worried about that. It is not necessary that only after arrival of internet and only after arrival of World Wide Web, this challenge has come up. It was always there. But now it is getting reflected in our social media, our virtual life as well. But at the same time, the virtual media, the social media, and the entire internet is so vast right now. And since there are no distances, they don't just matter when we work on social media. So the challenge has grown multifold. Now our lives, our data that is in excess of people who were not there earlier. It was beyond their reach earlier, but now it can be reached by anyone who is present on internet. So that is a big challenge in front of us. Now, when we talk about privacy, there are diverse opinions regarding this as to whether we can enjoy the right to privacy or not. Because you may remember that a few years back, a very senior functionary of a very large group, he had said that if you have something that you don't want others to know, maybe you should not be doing it in the first place. So that person was saying, he meant to say that if you indulge in something wrong, then only you should be worried about your privacy protection. But that is not the case. Because you know that today's everything, almost every aspect of our life revolves around data. Be it the government, be it the companies, be it the banks, retailers, social media lives of people like you and me. All of us depend on data. All of us depend on connectivity. All of us depend on internet, our presence on the internet. Now, without being connected to internet, we will become digital dinosaurs. So the executive of that organization, when he said that if you have something to hide, maybe you should not be present on the internet, I think that is not reflective of the realities of the time. Everybody has to enjoy the benefits of internet. Everybody has to enjoy the benefits of data, but at the same time, their data must be protected. So that is the crux, of the message for today's discussion. That how can we strike a balance between the two situations? We can enjoy
Yeah.
the fruits of internet and connectivity, but at the same time, how can our data and our privacy can be protected?
Okay. Thank you, Balanji. Sudesh Vermaji. This is a very important thing. Is that we should use the internet and whatever the system provided before us, as well as we should protect the data, and the many government, including Indian government, also just engage just to always with all the laws to protect the data. Do we think this new controversy? I'm not going on detail on that, but whatever the new privacy created on the eve of the parliament session, the Pegasus and the Congress is making hue and cry for just government has tapping the phones and all etc. How do you analyze this situation?
Rakesh
And
ji, you know that. Am I audible?
yeah, yeah, please.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, Rakesh ji,
yeah,
you know that the Indian Constitution provides that you will have right to privacy under the right to liberty, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
So
Article
it's a
21. Yeah,
constitutional guarantee given,
yeah,
which means that the state cannot take away this right unless there is a need, and that need could be through court, through reasonable restrictions, which the court also has upheld. So within that framework, the Indian government is entitled, in the case of security of the nation, to tap phones of certain people it considers suspect. Okay, but that is not violation of privacy. That is done through a process of committees of senior bureaucrats, and it is done for a brief period. So if you take that as a violation of right to privacy, maybe that is not correct, because even the court upheld that. Say, for example, income tax, say, for example, CBI, for crime, for terrorism, the government needs to tap phone of certain suspects in the benefit of national interest. Now, coming to the Pegasus controversy, it is not about tapping, it is about hacking, isn't it?
yeah,
Suppose your phone has been hacked. Suppose my phone has been hacked. So, what will I do? Will I say that set up an inquiry, or will I go first check whether my phone actually has been hacked, and then I file an FIR with the police and get recourse through legal action, isn't it? Because there are many spywares, there are many hacking that can happen. You know that websites have been hacked, you know that phones have been hacked. So this is a challenge that goes on between
this
policymakers.
CBI site has been hacked last day. Yeah,
So you know about it. So it's a challenge
yeah,
which policymakers face. Hackers versus the government. The government tries to rectify that. Sometime back, some people said that even Aadhaar can be hacked, but that has not happened. You know that many data of private consumer providers, they have been hacked. Like even Lal Path Labs. You get your investigation done, pathological report. All this data have been hacked. So the issue is there is always going to be hackers versus the government. Now let's come to this Pegasus thing. Pegasus says that it gives to government for very high kind of security, for terrorism, for sex crimes, drugs and all that. It is not for snooping on common individuals. And you see, government of India has various mechanisms if it wants to know what an individual is doing. As I told you, the government has clarified that nothing like this happened. Okay, and the controversy should rest there. Why the report comes a day before Parliament session was going to begin, and the report comes backed by those people who are known to be anti this government. You see what Indian government has done with amnesty. They were not following the law of the land. They were doing business here rather than trying to do something about human rights. So they have an axe to grind. You know what New York Times editorial says about India? They are scared of Indian Prime Minister Modi ji, because they believe that nationalist prime minister will become very powerful. Washington Post, Jeff Bezos, his things ended in divorce because his private images were found through Pegasus spyware. So he has an axe to grind with Pegasus. These are all international things. You must try to understand. Our opposition parties should also understand that Western interests are trying to destroy the fabric of India. They want to defame India. They want to club India with those countries where private rights don't exist. But we are a free country. And we are saying that if something has happened tomorrow, Rakesh ji, if something happens, your phone is hacked, what will you do? Will you say, Modi ji, set up an inquiry? Or will you take the legal recourse? That is available to everyone. And through that legal recourse, culprit would be found out, isn't it? So it's as simple as that. So why are they trying to create a ruckus? Are they playing into the hands of those who are trying to fan trouble in this country? That is the basic issue all of us as citizens of this
Yeah.
country should look into. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudeshji. As just you just discuss about the whatever controversy that is also involved in the so many conspiracy, the political conspiracy. So I think Vandana ji, yeah, just with respect to the US, I'm not talking the India Pegasus. Just from you take as sitting in Chicago, USA, how you just see this the right to privacy as well as the different political scandal in USA. How to relate them?
As you mentioned, because this is very, there is a very fine line about it. This is a very sensitive and a delicate subject, like when we talk about the privacy. Because in today's time, it has happened, Rakeshji, it is happening very prominently because we are talking about all the rights and we are forgetting our duties, you know. When it comes to any nation and the national security talking about, like, which should be above, like, all the privacy acts, to be honest, because this constitution of a nation was written way long back, because at that very time there were no such kind of challenges. Let's be very honest with you, what we are facing, let this be in US, let this be anywhere in, like, when we talk about privacy, like, you will say, oh, Osama bin Laden also had a privacy, like, because did US allowed that, like, then NSA became very, very active on probing, because phone tapping has been happening. There are hue and cries the way it is happening in India in the Parliament House. It has been very common here also in the House of Congress. They do it, and then they get the answer why we did it, why need and stuff. But this cannot happen, as Balendu ji said. There is a procedure to do all these kind of things. It cannot happen that somebody wants to decide tomorrow they want to, means, like, get my information, because on a otherwise, to be very honest, very lighter note, from a layman perspective, there is no privacy in today's time. If you are carrying this, anybody and everybody knows where you are, what you're doing, what you're eating.
Nothing is private.
Nothing is private. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not, means, very IT savvy, but I can just say that if you just do a search about, and I do have 3 or 4 devices, and I'm talking to you from my laptop, you will see all those kind of ads are popping
yeah.
up. And then comes, now is the next, like, we are talking about AI, artificial intelligence. Vandana is just thinking, and your computer is, I'm just thinking, I'm just telling you very loud and clear. I'm just thinking, like, something, what to respond and stuff. And I do get the suggestions of those words. Is they reading my mind? You know?
Yeah.
So, means the government, like, of any nation, let this be in a US and all, I'm being very honest, because national security is very, very important, should not be compromised on the sake of under the fine line, the carpet, like, and
Yeah.
the privacy, because otherwise how will you secure your home? So home security is first, like, you will not let anybody barge into your own home.
One thing I want to add in this American, just the protection of the minors in United States, the protection of minors and children in United States also falls in the Soldiers of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA. This protect any children. I'm talking about the laws of United States. This protects any
Minors.
children under the age of 13 from the collection of the data without the parents or guardian permission.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
law is the reason why many sites will ask you if you are under 13 or require you to be the 13 to sign up.
yeah.
While this law is good for the protecting children information, it fails to protect the information of any older than 13. So how just health insurance and all things. So how do
HIPAA,
you analyze
HIPAA,
how do you
HIPAA.
analyze from the uh, privacy law from the India and USA?
No, because I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to add on certain things right here, because somebody getting mature at the age of 10 now, And we were at the age of 20, we were not that mature now. So, but like even if you are going to take your children for the vaccination for the school, it cannot be that I can take your child. One parent has to accompany till they are adult and mature. And then comes, even for adult, they will not share my information. I just came back from the hospital without my consent, even with my husband. That is called
Yeah.
HIPAA, the privacy, like, you know. So that is also as one privacy. But there are compromising happening, like, you know, Devanduji, as पुलिस से ज्यादा चोर आगे चलता है. आप जितने मर्जी ताले बनाओ, उनके पास में बिना ताले के वो कुंजी है. Like, you know, hackers get paid, and
Yeah.
one company tries to hire hackers to probe into the other company. Let this
Yeah.
be, like, you
Yeah.
know.
I
So
started from America to other country.
yeah,
Am I right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I'll
हमको
take the Rakesh Tiwari ji. Rakesh Tiwari ji, sorry. Rakesh Tiwari ji. How just comparatively studied the rule of privacy from the Canada and India? We're not discussing the India right to privacy, but you're in Canada, so you have the more knowledge about the Canadian law on the right to privacy and rule of privacy.
Well, thank you so much, Kumar Rakesh ji, and to the all panelists.
Yeah.
I was listening carefully, everybody.
Please correct your frame. Actually, you just page is
If my frame is
yeah,
better now?
now better now. Yeah,
Is better now?
looking more
Okay.
more smarter than ever. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
So let me say this. I think we are, if correct me if I'm wrong, we are discussing this whole matter in the frame of Pegasus, the
No.
Pegasus software.
Sorry. So
Okay.
I'm telling you. Firstly, I already say in the review of the United Nations law, as I just discussed you in the started, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is apply on the globally. Please.
But we are talking about privacy laws, right?
Yeah.
In terms of privacy
Yeah.
law.
Right,
So
yeah.
all journalists, Miss, Sudesh Sharma ji is there. He spoke great deal about whatever is happening over there. Let me say this: here in Canada, or be it in US too, in the Western world, the privacy laws are very much respected, and it's very important. And one can go very far in that. So supposedly, let me say this: if my son is 18-year-old, and even the doctor or even any government agency will not share his or her information with me, because that person, my son or daughter, is an adult now. So nothing will be shared, even the banks, nobody. So that comes to the privacy matter. Privacy is a sacred kind of, it has been it has been taken in the Western world, as a sacred, that nobody should interfere. Our quote, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who was father of Justin Trudeau, who says, state has nation state has no business in nation's bedroom. Nation means the people, means the state has its own limitation, cannot enter in your house without the particular reasons. I would like to, would like to comment on the Pegasus. I will say that since, not even Pegasus, I will say since within this 10-15 years, when the social media, all these big giant companies, Google, Facebook, all the social media, Twitter, all this, they came, and all those software, they are every day, every minute, every second trying to enter in our privacy zone, and they want to take the information. And they are using, not only using, they are misusing it. A common person doesn't even know sometimes that they have taken the information, and this is a huge issue. At this time, I would like to say that be it in the the government of India, government of Canada, and anywhere else, every country should take strictest measures so the privacy can be protected. Privacy is my own right. You have no limit. You have no right until unless you found somebody criminally responsible, and even then there is a limit towards it. So the privacy should be respected of any individual or anybody. Okay, else the world and wherever we are in will be in chaos. In terms of Pegasus, only one line I would like to say. it has been claimed that Pegasus is only sold to the governments. That has been claimed. So in that way, it has been directly pointed to Indian government. So yeah, of course, Indian government, Sudesh Sharma ji is there. They can clarify very well. And if somebody's, and I agree with him that way, if somebody has hacked my phone and tried to do that, I will definitely go file a police complaint, get the proper investigation done. Then how come this happened? Whatever has happened. So that part I agree. I do not have the information that Indian government has hacked or not. All those agencies, they have done it. They don't have. I don't believe that they have a conclusive report. That's my submission. Thank you.
So nice of you. Just what a Pegasus is going and down, that is a different one. But what they have done, that is already open fact. What the Congress is blaming, that is total the political game, as I think it. So I'll take just Balenduji. How the controversy is just has been created, as I think. So do you think there's anything in national stake with this, all the hacking on all the problem created by the concern? Whoever they were, actually, as I read it, as I came to know, I think the 56 crore INR for this Pegasus, whatever software is so costly, and it first before going that we have to invest, and but for the it cost. So how it's possible without involving the so many big wigs of the different countries or either the big money holders?
Yeah, Rakeshji, actually, sometimes when we talk about these security breaches or privacy breaches, we tend to take a holistic view. I mean, we take a generalistic view. Generally don't differentiate between the hackings that take place at the hands of different people. For example, if my phone is hacked by my neighbor, that is not same as my phone is hacked by a hacker, or my phone or my computer is hacked by a cyber criminal who is living thousands of miles away from my house. Similarly, when we talk about these breaches, we have to differentiate between different kind of breaches. For example, the companies which are using user data, that is different from the government using the user data, because government has obligations to ensure internal security and national security. So that cannot be the same. Just like the companies, the breaches at the hand of the company. So these are different scenarios, and we have to look at these different scenarios from different perspectives. Sometimes it might be important, somewhere it might be a crime. Like I would second Sudeshji's thought that privacy is very sacred, but when the government, I mean, it is not necessary that it is always sacrosanct. When needed, that right to privacy is also open to scrutiny. If you remember Supreme Court's observation in the Puttu Swamy versus Union of India case in 2017. Yeah. So the Supreme Court said that yes, it is privacy is fundamental right of every citizen of India, but it is not an absolute right, number one, because it is subject to reasonable restrictions, and these restrictions might come from the government. So that is one thing. And secondly, it is derived from the right to life and liberty. It is not needed to be described, separately in the Constitution of India, because it is part of, it can be read, as part of the Article 14 and 19 and 21. So it can be derived from the right to equality, right to expression, and right to life and liberty. So even Supreme Court has mentioned that this, when the government wants to, look at privacy from a different angle, they are entitled to do so. So we have to look at this from different perspectives. But as Rakeshji has mentioned, it is very important that we ensure that the user privacy is protected. Now, if you mention GDPR in the EU, although we say that nowadays every data, every activity of a user is known to people who are active on internet, or maybe it is known to companies. But if you look at the success of GDPR in the EU, I think they have been reasonably able to protect user rights there, because they have got the 7 principles of GDPR. First is the lawfulness. Like, companies will only be able to collect data if it is lawful, if it is collected lawfully. Secondly, the purpose behind it has to be limited. They have to be, I mean, they are not going to use a data collected for certain objective. The data will not be used for something else. So purpose is limited there. Thirdly, the data minimization. Companies are bound to limit the amount of data that they collect. It is not that they can collect, every single data about myself. Then the accuracy of data. They cannot store data which is not accurate about me, and they claim that this belongs to me. It has to be accurate. Then the storage limitations, like where the data is going to be stored, whether it is going to be stored in that country or foreign country. There is a proper, proper provision about that the data will be stored only within the country. And now we are also in India, also we are following that kind of rule in India. Other than that, integrity and confidentiality. If a company or if a large organization is going to collect data, they have to keep it confidential. They have to protect the data also. And then finally, accountability. They are accountable if any breach happens, or if somebody takes away the data of people who are not even aware of that. So these kind of rules, they can definitely ensure to a large extent that our rights to our privacy are protected. Now, this is also relevant from this recent controversy regarding Pegasus. Although it is being discussed that Pegasus is being used by even the governments, but I think again, like I have mentioned, that
The government already denied it actually officially on our parliament forum.
yeah, some allegations are there, but we don't know for sure that it has been done or not. And secondly, data breach from different at the hand of different people, different entities, that has to be looked at from different angles. It is not the same every time, because the national security is paramount.
Okay. Okay, so nice, Valendu. I'll check Sudesh here before that. Welcome Alok Lahad from the Spain. About this, I think so late, but no, just nice to see you. After taking Sudesh, then I'll take your inputs. Sudesh. Sudesh, just about the controversy, how just government has denied on the floor of the parliament. Do you think there is a no involvement of government, or this is the denial factor by any government? Sudesh, do you hear me?
Okay, yeah. You see,
Yeah.
Rakesh ji, we must understand one thing. You see, based on hearsay, because the report itself says that they suspect that these phones have
Yeah.
been hacked through spyware. They are not also confident. So it can't be that I make an allegation that such and such person may have made money through corruption. Now it is for the government to inquire. You can't make such stories. It's wild goose chase. It's ridiculous. You see, the whole story, out of 50,000 people, I mean phones which were there as target
Yeah,
all across the globe.
so many media houses phone also, so many
300
publications
of
also.
Indians, out of that, 37 have found to use some malware called Pegasus.
Yeah.
Now tell me, one should understand and appreciate that these journalists or so-called activists, will the government use such spyware on them? Were they of such stature? Do you think the Indian government can't tackle them at their level? It's
The one
ridiculous.
one
Some
one
non-STEM journalists, they think that
one
they have
pro-
become big because their
one
phones are
pro-
figured.
one prominent media company wire like institution also, somebody say Indian
And you
Express,
see,
Hindustan
Rakesh,
Times and all. Yeah.
Rakesh
Yeah.
ji, you see,
Yeah.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi should
Yeah.
understand that is he becoming the tool of foreign powers which want to destabilize India willingly or intentionally or just by default. Because you see, the way when China standoff was going on, China India, you had
Yeah,
seen that he was going
he
and
had
meeting
exposed.
Chinese
He
delegation.
had exposed himself with the justice.
Okay, so
With
he
China. Yeah.
wanted to know the pricing of Rafale. So the government was forced to show it to the judges because we can trust them. But we can't trust those people who could be willingly or unknowingly a vehicle to understand the secrets of India.
Yeah.
So it's a simple case. You don't know whether your phone has been hacked. Please go and check. If it has been hacked, please report it. And that inquiry will take to the culprit. That is the way the country functions. If you set up an inquiry as demanded by opposition, then tomorrow many more such reports will come. So will our country be a country of perpetual inquiry? Will there be governance or not? If you want to discuss an issue, you see, a minister, IT minister has explained, and he must have done his due diligence. It's the government that is speaking. You have to trust him, isn't it? You are trusting some obsolete hearsay report. You are not trusting your government. Have a discussion in the house. Who has said? We have said. Prime Minister has said, grill us. Put us in the dock. Debate.
Yeah.
But let us also answer. You don't want, because you know that you won't stand. You are in quicksand. You won't be able to stand when the government replies. So you just want to create an issue, just want to stall parliament so that it becomes an issue. People of this country have reposed their faith on Prime Minister Modi. This faith would never be diluted. The Prime Minister knows the bond that is there between him and the electorate. So these people won't succeed.
Okay, so this is your political part as well as the right to privacy. Alok Lahad ji, how you differentiate and compare the right to privacy of India, Spain, and as well as the Europe? As well, the European Union, the right to privacy is more stronger than the United States, as I mentioned in so many factual papers also.
Yeah, the GDPR.
I mean, thank you and hello everybody. Like the first thing is the European privacy laws are very strong, probably the strongest in the world. They have everything into place, and you actually, like, even if I want to keep, let's say, the phone numbers and email numbers and everything in my contacts, the person who I have in my contact, he should be informed about it, especially if I am a private enterprise. But that does not mean that the government does not have this information. Each and everyone in the European Union has a national ID card which has a chip, and anybody and everybody, like in the administration, the first thing, let's say you're walking down the street. So if a policeman comes, the first thing he'll do is salute you, and then he'll ask you for your documentation. And he has got a reader in which he puts it into that reader, and he knows everything about you. And if you go to the dispensary with the Social Security, you have a Social Security card, which is different from what Social Security in America is a different thing. This is a health card, and they have everything. Your doctor knows everything, whatever medicine he has given to you in the last few years. Now, there's a cutoff time which is being discussed, like for how many years this has to be done. Now, government has to keep the custody of this information, but government has all the information. At the tap of a button, they will know in case you have paid your fine, or you have not paid, a red light which you've jumped and you've not paid the fine. That is one thing. Now, when the these international social media giants came up, then again the rule was changed, and the collection of data from them, it was stopped. Now, what happened was but in case you consent, then they can collect your data. So what happened was they changed their terms of usage, because most of the services which you are taking are free of cost. So in case you have consented, then they can keep your data. Now, with the kind of social media we have, like, when you, let's say, commission your mobile phone, you are passing on more information. I mean, who does not use, your digital impression to put the phone on? So you're already providing to this companies your digital impression, which they say is kept on your phone, but who knows if it is kept or not? So in spite of the fact that the government authorities do have and can keep, of example, there is, let's say there is, a camera which is taking pictures. It cannot keep that image for more than 24 hours. Now, there are rules in place for this. But that does not mean that this information cannot be connected. Like recently, there was a crime on the metro, and thanks to this picture,
officially they can't, but unofficially they can.
No. Officially they collect, but there is, for example, in case let's say in my establishment as a private enterprise, I have video cameras. I have to tell the people that video cameras are there and you are under video vigilance. But I
just
cannot
put
keep
the
the
board and all.
videotape.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I cannot keep that video for more than 24 hours. Now, lots of times what has happened is that crime has taken place and a private enterprise has a video camera. So the police comes and says, can you give me the tapes? And it has helped them solve the crime. Just 3 days ago, there was somebody who, there was this argument with two people that one was not wearing the mask in the metro, and somebody else told him to please put the mask on, and he threw something on his, he injured his eye. But because of the video vigilance which was there in the metro, that culprit was, taken. So what I'm saying is, it at so ground level, information is being collected. Anything and everything, is with the government authorities, because they are the persons who are going to protect you in case the need be. Otherwise, how will they identify yourself? Now, if we compare that with India, there's nothing in place. I mean, India had the best land records in the world. And it is said that the land records which Raja Todamal had put in place for the Mughals, they were later on copied by the British, and then the land records came into being in Europe and things like this. But you know and I know what is Benami transactions, how many land and who owns it, and it's it could be in the name of a dog also, you never know. Now that thing is not there in place, and most of the people who are protesting against.
There are so many also cases in so many countries in the other names that just politicians do, either in US and Europe and other part of the world also, not in India also. As India, that is a different case. But we have found the cases, the other's name, we can say the Benami and whatever.
No, but it's almost impossible to have a property in somebody else's name who doesn't have an ID card, or he doesn't have. It's impossible. I mean, we always give this example in India that UK does not have an ID card, or America does not have an ID card, but they have the driving license. They have the social security number with which anything and everything can be traced.
And now you can't do that even in India. Even in India, you can't do it now.
In India, they don't want to give this information because something wrong is going on.
Now, another thing that I would like to
anybody who does not want, what do I have to hide? And what do I have to hide from my own government, which is going to protect me tomorrow in case the need be? If it is not required, do you think anybody will go after my life? I am passing on my information. I have told everybody who my wife, children are, where do I eat, what do I like on Facebook. So, I mean, it becomes really, there comes a time when you really feel like you're passing on your information to global access. Anybody and everybody can have an access to that. I mean, for example, let's say you're looking for a book in Amazon.
Something to add.
Everybody knows which book you're looking for in case I know your profile. You're passing on more information to big companies, but you're not ready to pass that information to your own government, which is going to take care of you, because you have an ulterior motive. And as far as this case of Pegasus is concerned, like when I was reading about it, I had a big laugh. I had a big laugh because, today Al Jazeera was saying that Indian Prime Minister has been accused of sedition. I mean, what could be more hilarious than that? That the Prime Minister himself is going against the country and violating.
Al Jazeera like
Prime Minister like Narendra Modi, it's almost impossible. No, I mean, and then the second thing is that we have this organization which we don't know from where they got this information. I'm talking about Amnesty International. What is the record of Amnesty International in India? When they were asked to tell where is your funding coming from, they packed their bags and left. How can you believe an organization like that? I mean, it is like somebody who's got a criminal record coming and telling that I am a criminal. you have to, your source of
So
information has to be.
what do you think about the Pegasus? Then I'll take, I think, if Balendu
No,
wants to comment on
I
that.
think
Yeah.
it is a concocted story which they have, launched. And the funniest thing is that, let's say the Guardian is publishing it. It's, or all reputed newspapers are doing it in outside India, and inside India they pick up somebody as, simplistic like the Wire to explode this theory. I mean, they are saying that India Today journalists are there, or Indian Express journalists are there. I mean, for God's sake, these newspapers have a standing. Indian Express has done tremendous job in Indian journalistic history. We know about it. So why not break the news from somewhere
Yeah.
here? Some serious newspaper. You go to the Wire, which has an existence of, let's say, 6 or 7 years, and you know what their political inclination is and where their funding are coming from. I think they've broken this story because basically they think that ED might come up and find out where their funding is coming from and why they are planting these stories in the world. So, it's kind of a salvo which they have launched in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
in the air
So I
to
say,
save
Vandana
their
ji.
skin.
Yeah. Yeah. So nice. Just elaborated Alok ji with all the inputs. So nice.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah, so, Vandana ji, now actually I not here to just to discuss all the details, but Sudesh is here. So politically, I just I'm going to discuss what is the. I think this is a fake story created by some opposition, and what is some intention. That is also the magical type story and musical type like that, whatever it's going to be. So, what is your input and what you think of this Pegasus? And then I'll take from Balenduji. Yeah.
You want me to, I being from a diaspora, I would like to ask, Sudesh, because the news what comes from India, this becomes a biggest mockery after a few means like a 4 or 5 days and stuff like that. So is there, I being a journalist myself, is there no responsibility from the other end? But like if you're just giving these kind of things, so there should be some kind of penalty to those people, those who are talking, and they have been elected officials, like they've been elected positions.
Yeah.
They are sitting in the parliament, wasting the time on the taxpayers' cost. India needs to go further, and then this kind of thing keeps coming rolling. Kabhi wo Rafale wala ho jata hai, they take to parliament has to be. Why they've been selected as an MP sitting there?
Sometimes judge from the Rafale, the recent judge from the France, who was just website published the news about the sitting just going
This
to
is
inquire.
biggest joke. Because
Yeah.
these are the people, these are the jokers like Rahul Gandhi, Tumara Mulayam Singh ka son, and then Owaisi. These are the people, those who are giving these kind of tips to the foreign journalists, those who are
Yeah.
looking for this
Yeah,
masala
all
to
jokers
create
are
story.
protected by the BJP. Do you think so?
No, means why BJP is not doing anything to them? This has been 7 years now.
That's point. I'll take the Sudeshji.
No,
Why
I'm going to
why
ask,
not the
when
BJP
you
taking
know
action
all
against
these
those
people,
jokers?
I have one more thing to say. All
Yeah.
these people are on bail, running out. Let it be Rahul Gandhi, uski माँ, उसका वो जो जीजा जी है, वो सब लोग बेल पे हैं. इतना बेल पे तो कोई रहता नहीं है बाहर. Herald case.
Why?
What is happening?
What
Is
is
not
happening in
government
India?
competent enough? Like what is
Yeah.
happening that? Otherwise,
Sure.
courts are
I'm
the
with
judiciary.
you, Vandanaji. I'm with you. I'm with
So
you.
the judiciary comes on every issue which is not to come. Just 1 second,
Yeah.
let me finish that. Why
Yeah.
they are not taking these issues?
Please.
This has become a biggest joke.
Please. I think if you okay, then Sudesh, you want to react something. Sudesh Vermaji. In national spokesman of BJP, just your anger should be just carried out to the governance also, government. Sudesh, do you hear me? Sudesh Vermaji? Some technical problem, I think. There's a network problem.
जवाब
I
मांग
think.
रही हूँ मैं. जवाब मांग रही हूँ. Official capacity.
Sir, official capacity actually he is freezed by the, I think with your all anger and things, the system is now going to be freezed now.
वो अभी पूछता है भारत नहीं हो गया, अब तो पूछता है भारतीय हो गया. That's what अभी पूछने लगा है.
Hack network is going to. I still look like hacked, but not to be hacked. So there is no. So I invited. I'll take the Valentuji. How all the political discussion now it's coming now. I think they're getting going and up. Please take in. I think please take in. I have to take reply. So, Valenduji, with all the discussion on the what is Pegasus is doing and whatever is the, this is all the political one, but technical part, I'm not just going to just involve in the.
So Rakeshji, actually, first of all, I'm very impressed with the GDPR, which has been enacted by the EU, and really that is something ideal that has been done there. And I would like to share with Alok ji that India is also making progress in that front. Maybe you are aware of the PDP, the PDP bill, Personal Data Protection Bill 2019, which is already under Lok Sabha's consideration, and there is also a JPC which is headed by Meenakshi Lekhi ji. So that is examining different aspects of this. So we are also going to have a very robust privacy protection bill in India, and that is, I think, almost as robust as GDPR is. So we are moving in that direction. That is one thing that I wanted to share. Now, you know what? Why this is important? Although you remember Supreme Court saying that privacy is a fundamental right, so that makes it clear that that is the most sacrosanct thing and that is most important. But without having this kind of bill, the personal data protection bill, we don't know the detail as to how much we are protected, how our rights are protected. So this bill is going to provide that detail, step by step and in greater detail. So that is very important, and I'm very happy to share with you that we have that in place. I mean, that is under process. Secondly, other than that, also in India we are moving towards having different regulations which are required. Like the government has taken very important steps in introducing this information technology rules of 2021, which is for social media and the intermediaries, etc. And that has also been in discussion for quite some time. Now, this is also a very important effort on the government's behalf, on government's part, to make sure that the intermediary, they deal with the data responsibly. For example, they have to publish their privacy policy, they have to remove objectionable content within 36 hours, they have to protect data, they have to follow reasonable security procedures, they have to allow 72 hours, I mean, with government access within 72 hours. If there any breach has happened, they also have to report cyber security incidences to government. They have to address, I mean, they have to appoint a compliance officer and all that stuff that is happening. So we are moving in that direction to protect users' privacy and their security. So that is one thing that I would like to share, and that is very positive.
So nice. Yeah. So earlier the former IT minister Ravi Shankar Prasad also stated so many the new IT law just decreed by the made by the government of India. So now I think I'll take reply that the network issue with the all angers of our Vandana ji from Chicago, just and a member of the Indian diaspora and through Indian. So how the Sudesh ji, how just you reply, just you have a response to the anger and the thoughts of the about the Indian political system from Vandana ji. And there's a last take.
Yeah. I'll try to sum up. You see, the issue is, Vandana ji, you also know that after looting the country, there's vested interests who were in political power. They know that they are going to wind up their shops. I call it shops because they came to government to loot and to make their people happy, whether it was the crony capitalism that existed, whether it was their family or relatives. Now things have changed. They know that it's very difficult to dislodge Modi ji. They come up with one issue or the other. They came with Rafale, nothing happened. Everybody endorsed that the government has not done anything wrong. On the CAA, the way they tried to organize protests all across the country, nothing happened. People understood the game plan. The way they did on farmers' issue, even when there was an international conspiracy, more so by Khalistan from Canada, you see what happened. They have been exposed now. Nobody is talking of farmers' agitation in this country. It's only in some pockets in Canada and some other countries that people are sympathetic towards farmers' agitation. We all know what Mr. Rakesh Tikait is. He's trying to do his politics. He will fail. Up to Uttar Pradesh, they will all lock themselves and go back. Okay, they'll say, oh, enough. So the issue is, in democracy, we know what they're doing. They're trying to come up. Maybe this Pegasus controversy is a part of the toolkit. They know that Pegasus exists. So get names of some individuals. Who knows? create a suspicion. People will believe you. You know that in France, there are charges and it's being investigated. The Moroccan government
Yeah.
used Pegasus spyware to spy on some French journalists. So you
Yeah.
see, anything is possible anywhere. You don't know whether it's Pakistan, whether it's China, whether it's those countries, because you are trying to defame India when India is rising as a power, as a liberal country, as a democratic country, and the only country we aspire to, in terms of democracy and freedom, is the United States of America, isn't it? We are the largest population. We are going to be the single largest population in this world. America cannot compare, only 32 crore Americans. We will be 140 crores. We will be matching and more than China in 10 years' time. So it's an India rising story. People who still thought that, we were those snakes and ladders story. They want to see that kind of India, which was shown in Slumdog
but but
Millionaire.
but
They want that kind of
but
story.
my point of order. So there's the but as well as I'll take the last take, the Vandana ji. But as well as with the so nice and juicy and spicy lectures from the government side, we also need some prompt action. Whatever Vandana ji raised, why they are on bail by the long time? Why some
No,
cases are still pending?
I want to add
Why?
one more thing. One more, just one.
Just Vandana ji, I'm writing you. Why 22,000 crore only going to be educate in the name, just going to be distributed in the name of scholarship only to the Muslim community? Why not other minorities? There are also questions. That's what we also
That's
should be
Rakeshji,
answered. Please.
that is a separate issue. You have a separate debate. We'll discuss in that.
So we'll take it, but this is
today,
also issue. Only Muslim is
of course,
non-minority
this
in
is
the
an issue,
country.
and I'll talk
Yeah,
about this when you
yeah,
organize this debate. But today, it's a very
yeah,
sensitive issue. You come
yeah.
with a concocted story and try to frame the government, try to damage the image of India. You see,
Okay.
no country, unless that country is really nationalistic, will accept a nationalistic government in India. India is a power to reckon with, and the entire world knows it. Whether it's in terms of troops, whether in terms of empowerment, in terms of IT. So our fight will continue. But these opposition parties, they will continue to hammer us. They will continue to defame this country using such allegations. We being democratic country, more so because Modi is in power. He is the one who fought against emergency imposed by Mrs. Gandhi then in the 1975, isn't it? So you must know that we cannot take any step that will damage our democratic credentials. We'll fight it ideologically. We'll fight it through debate. We'll expose them in all the forums. And trust me, people trust what Mr. Modi says, not what these politicians speak.
Okay, Vandana ji, last take, just going to now.
I have one very simple question to ask you. Judiciary is every other day coming and telling administration to do this, to do that, to do that. Modi ji came to power with 300 plus. He has to do his job. Can't the administration tell the judiciary to do their job? There are so many court cases pending. They are not bothered about that. It is other way around, like the music, because administration should do their job, judiciary should do their job. But this is happening. They want to wear their hat, and this is sad story.
Okay,
So,
I'll add to there is a chief minister who got his bail in 2013. He got his first bail in 2013. He's still on bail. This is impossible in Europe or the West. I mean, you cannot keep extending your bail. My question is, you know who I'm talking about. I don't want to name that person. Okay, 2013, he got his first bail. And Supreme Court has extended his bail. How many years have passed by on bail? I mean, what is this? This is mockery of judiciary and of the democratic system. And it is, misuse of power also.
Okay. So, but we are so nice, all the fact. No, sir, actually, it's a longer discussion. The discussion is right to privacy.
We need the answer from the BJP spokesman.
No, and then next time, your question is very valid, Alok ji, and we'll I'll take on other discussion. So, nice to all of you who just participated in this nice, wonderful discussion, right to privacy with the Pegasus, how the Pegasus created, just to debuggle the political stability in India with so many tools. And previously, there are so many toolkits has been already proved how they have used against India, either the China tools or either just other tools for the in the name of that lady arrested from the Karnataka, and the name of the independence and freedom, and so many trying to be before that when some judges cleared the Rafael after all the things. So I think there is so many questions and so many explosion and so many just exposed by the themselves. How the Sudesh Vermaji said and Vandanaji said, Balenduji really just throws light on the all technical aspect of the IT rules and IT system, how the IT works. And Rakesh Tiwari ji, thanks all of you who just participated in this wonderful show. Next time, I'll also invite for the wonderful discussion. Thanks, welcome, and for this for Global Governance News TV. And I think our India is always great and was great and will be the great and very soon the Vishwaguru of the world. That as we believe in Vasudev Kutumbakam. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.